Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Raegan Michalak, and this is how LLMs have improved how we can learn and how I believe that we will learn in the future. So, let's first take a moment to think about how we've accessed knowledge over this time. We first had the Encyclopedia Britannica, which meticulously crafted by experts, but it was also super exclusive and expensive for the time. Then came along Wikipedia, which made knowledge free and open for everyone with internet access. Now, we have entered the era of large language models, or LLMs. An example of them would be ChatGPT. They're not just tools, they're interactive, adaptive, and they totally change observations from my research comparing the three. And why this shift in access information matters. I'm going to restart that. Hello, everyone. I'm Raegan Michalak, and this is how LLMs. Actually, let me go like this. Hello, everyone. I'm Raegan Michalak, and this is how LLMs have improved how we can and how I believe that we will learn in the future. So, let's take a moment to think about how we've accessed knowledge over time. First, we had the Encyclopedia Britannica, which meticulously crafted by experts, but it was also super exclusive and pretty expensive. Then we got Wikipedia, which made knowledge free and open for everyone with internet access. Now, we've entered the era of large language models, or LLMs. An example of them would be ChatGPT. They're not just tools. They're interactive, adaptive, and they've completely changed how we'll learn. Today, I'm going to talk about 3 observations from my research comparing the Britannica Encyclopedia, Wikipedia, and LLMs, and why this shift in how we access information matters. So, first, I'm going to start out with static and dynamic knowledge. So, the first Encyclopedia Britannica was the authority back in the day. Every article was written by experts and double checked, but it was static, which means that there's no updates and there's no flexibility really when it comes to it. Also, it wasn't cheap, so only some people could afford access to it. Then came Wikipedia in 2001, which blew the whole exclusivity thing out of the water. It was free, open to everyone, and it was updated constantly. For example, Britannica might have had animal classifications based on 1911 science, but Wikipedia integrates new discoveries like modern genetics. However, since anyone can edit Wikipedia, not all sections are consistent in quality compared to LLMs. Now, LLMs combine the best of both worlds. They're trained on reliable sources like Britannica, but they also adapt like Wikipedia, only even faster. Ask an LLM about an endangered species, and it won't just spit out facts. It'll tailor answers to your specific questions. And this mix of authority and adaptability makes LLMs completely game changing, in my opinion. So, for the second one, let's look at static info versus interactive learning. So, Britannica and Wikipedia are great, but they're essentially static. You read, you process, and that's pretty much it. You can't ask follow-up questions or dig deeper in that moment. But LLMs completely flip the script on this by making knowledge interactive. They feel more like having a conversation with a tutor. For example, if you're studying the water cycle, you can ask an LLM to explore the basics, or clarify any confusing parts, or even create a diagram for you. You can control the depth of the discussion and the length of the discussion, which helps you actually to understand the topic instead of just memorizing it, which we are taught to do a lot of the times that doesn't really help us retain knowledge. This ability to interact and get customized explanations is really what sets LLMs apart. It's a more engaging way to learn, and it helps you connect with the material rather than just memorize it. So, now let's go to visualizing knowledge. Here's another thing LLMs can do that Britannica and Wikipedia can't. They create visual aids. Need a graph for an economic trend or a labeled diagram of the human brain? Just ask and an LLM can generate it for you. This is huge for learning, in my opinion. Visuals make abstract ideas easier to understand and remember. Plus, LLMs tailor them to your specific needs. Whether you're a visual learner or just need extra clarity, then it can do that for you. While Britannica and Wikipedia are loaded with text, they can't match this kind of personalized, multisensory learning experience that everything else with the LLMs can't. For example, I asked ChatGPT to create a picture of myself giving a presentation to my class, and even though I had to fix up how I looked a few times, it still was able to make a picture that looks somewhat like me. I mean, we're both wearing a gray sweatshirt, so that's cool. But yeah, so just being able to personalize that information and really create just even any picture for you is a game changer for this generation. Now, you might be thinking, why does this even matter? These differences, static versus dynamic, passive versus interactive, and text-based versus visual might seem small, but they actually represent a bigger shift. LLMs are making learning more accessible and personalized for students who can't afford tutors or expensive resources. LLMs are a game changer, especially for that demographic. That said, LLMs are not perfect. They can mess up facts and present biased info, and they don't always provide sources. But unlike Wikipedia and Britannica, they are constantly being updated, and there's new versions coming out for them every year. So I think that's really cool, and they are eventually going to be improving these things, like by adding citations. And I know ChatGPT personally is working on fixing this. So, in conclusion, the evolution from Britannica to Wikipedia to LLMs shows how far we've come in making knowledge accessible. LLMs aren't just about convenience, they're about changing the way that we learn and interact with information. But as we embrace these tools, it's important to stay critical and make sure they are helping us learn, not just giving us easy answers. The important thing about LLMs is they are supposed to support our learning. I know a lot of kids my age can get caught up in the fact that they could do the work for you, but it's really beneficial if you just use them for deeper understanding rather than just getting the answers. So, thank you for listening.